Cool. All right, so I want to start by quickly telling you a story about how I came to create this event. And I'll start by saying that I think that we are the creator of our lives, but occasionally I forget. And I'd like you to ponder whether you agree while I share this story. Do you feel like your life is in your hands? I used to love goal setting, but as I've become more self-aware of my tendency to peg myself on my self-worth on external things like achievements, I realized that goal setting isn't actually creating positive outcomes for me. Yes, I achieved my goals in an overachiever, perfectionist kind of way, but it was often at the expense of other areas in my life. And I realized that I needed to have visions and values and have dreams and know where my life's heading, but also have flow and not be in control of how everything I desire comes to me. So for some people, goal setting is super motivating and elevating, but for other people, it can instigate perfectionism, stress, irrationality. It can also trigger self-criticism or feelings of failure, inadequacy, defeat. And sometimes that's before we've even started trying to achieve our goals. It's just while we're setting them. Who's felt that way before when you've set goals? Are you the procrastinate type of person, or are you neglect everything else while you smash your goals? I'm definitely the leave everything else while I smash this goal. Same, Alicia. Smash those goals and then go, oh, hang on, where's my kids? My house is a mess. We've got no food. So my preference is to set intentions instead. Intentions to me feel more like a blend of manifestation and surrender. So having a broad purpose without the rigidity of SMART goals, the type of goals that we were all taught to make at school or at uni. And I think that it's actually time to buck the system. I think that as women, we need room to pivot and to listen to our intuition and be in that feminine flow, but also have a little bit of the masculine. So the vision or the point where we're heading. The intention is like a riverbank. It's leading us down the stream to where we want to head, to our intention. And we're the water. We flow this way and that. It doesn't actually matter how long it takes us to get there or how we actually get there, as long as we're flowing in the right direction. So I started out 2022 with this intention to have intentions, but my subconscious took over and I started creating these little interim goals and steps to achieve my intentions and working out how it was all going to look, but that's not what it's about. I missed this important step, setting myself up for success. So I scrapped that. I realized that I needed to come back to clarity and flow, and I know that I get to choose that. And you and I are all deserving of the possibilities and the intentions that we set. So I started again, and here we are. So in your pondering while I was chatting away, what did you decide? Can you be the creator of your life? Seeing nodding. Yeah. So I invite you in this moment to take this time together today and know it's going to change things for you. Know that it's going to amplify the magnificence in your life. I would love for you to look back on January 2022 amongst the COVID shit show and go, far out, I made such a good decision. I decided that I was going to change my life for the better because I'm the creator. Yeah, who's feeling that? Yeah, we get to decide. Sometimes we get caught up in thinking it's our government, it's our partner, it's our lack of this or that our job or our family situation is responsible for how our life's going and how we're showing up in life. But really, we decide. Yeah, we decide what perspective we take and what we choose. So I invite you to drop your eyes closed and we'll take 3 collective breaths together and feel into that knowing, that shift that you're allowing to take place today. Take yourself into your body and feel that power as you take your breaths. 3 big breaths, big sigh out. And as you open your eyes and drop back in, allow yourself to smile and feel the power of our collective intentions. Because women together is freaking powerful, right? We are the powerhouse. Gone is the paradigm of competition amongst us women. We're done with comparison. We're done with jealousy. When one rises, all rise. We all rise together. When you celebrate another woman, it really fills your bucket. When we celebrate each other in our dreams and our successes, when we see others receiving, that's when we learn what's possible for ourselves, because what's possible for somebody else is possible for you. And ultimately, we're all rising for our children and the next generation to show them what's possible and to teach them how they can create the life that they decide they want. Is that what you're here for? Because our work becomes the healing that our children don't have to do. So let's go through the 8 elements of our wheel. After I will share an important step that I missed in my intention setting, which didn't go so well at the start of the year. So having a look at your wheel, you rate each area from 1 to 5. And you can either color in the segments or create a line at each point. So 1 is this area is non-existent. It's dissatisfying. It feels kind of negative. And 5 is if you are freaking over the moon with that part of your life. And once you've rated each area, just look back up at the camera with a kind of bored look on your face, and I'll know that everyone's done. So shading in or marking the line on each area of your wheel. And just before anyone starts to even consider judging themselves for where they're putting their lines, stop, because you don't deserve it. There will be no bullying, including self-bullying in this space. So just as you wouldn't judge a friend if her life wasn't exactly the way she wanted it, we don't want to judge ourselves. So I will get off my soapbox and I'll put on some music while you mark your wheel of life. Hey, Vanessa. Honey, we're just going through our wheel. If you want to get your wheel out and marking each part of your life with a 1 to 5. 1, not feeling super great. 5, killing it. Now my music's gone. There we go. So the premise of the wheel image is that if we have an area of our life that's unsatisfying and the line is much lower in that area, then the wheel isn't going to be turning super great. And also, the bigger the wheel, the more highly satisfied we are in each area, and therefore the better our ride through life. So how is this for you? Does anyone want to share? What does your wheel look like? Is there anyone that's got a massive 5 in all areas because they are killing their life? Nope, okay. Does anyone feel like their life is a little bit of a mess because they've got a tiny wheel on all aspects and it's spinning like crazy and they're not getting anywhere? Little bit. See a couple of hands. And who's got a bit of a bumpy life with a jagged wheel? Some aspects are super great, some not so great. Yeah, cool. Got a bit of a mix. Does anyone want to share how they felt doing that? Was there some areas that you didn't realize or you sort of had pushed to the back of your mind that weren't going so great in your life? Hey, Hannah.
Hey. I thought it was good because sometimes you think that everything's going to shit. But when I did my wheel, I'm like, oh, actually, that part's going pretty well. So.
Ah, awesome. Love that. Anyone else need to share? Are we good to go? We're good to go. So if it's obvious for you, you might know exactly where you want to set your intentions. If you've got a couple of areas that aren't exactly where you'd like them to be, consider which is the most valuable to you. Or maybe there might be an obvious flow-on effect from one area to another. So for example, if you've got low self-care and you also feel like family could do with a little bit of a boost, go with self-care. Because as much as you can have an intention to give to your family, if you haven't filled your own bucket, it ain't going to happen. So have a think about where's going to get the best bang for your buck, because you don't want to be working on every single area of your life because you'll end up working on none. So an important part of sacred intention setting is having a net as such to catch ourselves for when we have this genuine desire to move towards something and we've really focused on our intention, but it doesn't look like it's going to eventuate. It's deviated off our expected track and we feel like we're having a shocker over time because we're human, right? That happens. I forgot to surrender when I set my intentions at the start of the year. Things don't always go exactly as they wish they would. And in the moment or in those days or weeks or even months, if we have a net of self-compassion, then we're more likely to flow through those bumps. Giving ourselves grace and acceptance means that we're less likely to lose faith in ourselves and feel like we're failing. Because nobody puts in effort when they're failing. They just go, ugh, yuck, and give up. And with that, I've got this mindset, even if you don't feel like you've got it right in this moment, we might even see the unexpected opportunities or the positives in what did happen on that deviation or the silver lining for what was going down. We had an example of this in our family recently. My husband applied for a job with the Queensland Fire Services last year. He quit his corporate finance job and we moved house about 1,700 kilometers in hope, but he got knocked back. So we were pretty damn devastated and he had to wait 5 months before he could apply again. But once we got over that disappointment, he applied for a job that he'd previously done in an industry, and it was work that he didn't really love, but it paid the bills. But it also meant that in that industry, with him having an additional 4-month service, he's now eligible for long service leave, which we didn't know about. So that's 12 weeks paid leave because we had this deviation that we thought sucked. So even though it felt so shit in the moment, like we're so on track to achieving our goals. He's just applied for the Queensland Fire Services again, and we've got to go through the recruitment process, but we're on track, even though we didn't feel like we were a few months ago. So it helps to have faith and compassion for when things don't feel so great. Because when we have that down, it catapults us to feel good when we start to go up. We don't have that shit feeling, the good feelings don't feel so good. So having compassion for ourselves. So let's start our second sheet. The first part of this sheet is about celebration. It's about gratitude and having self-recognition. Because sometimes, well, a lot of the time, we spend our life as mamas praising our children, recognizing their achievements, pumping them up, and we forget to be proud of ourselves. So in each box, I wrote something that I'm proud of, or that I'm kicking ass with, or at least something that feels like it's going well in every area of my life, in all of those boxes, not just the ones that you think you're going to focus your intention setting for. I like to try and give attention to things that I want more of, because like attracts like, and where our focus goes, more of that flows. And I know you've heard those sayings before, but they are so true. So try and use just the top part of each box, because some of them you'll put intentions in below, and just take some time to think about where can you give yourself some gratitude or some praise in those areas. What's going well for you, or what are you doing well in each of those areas? Do you need to hear some of my gratitude pieces, or are you happy just to dive into your own? You want to hear one of mine? Okay. So for my career and business, I'm super grateful for a small number of coaching clients, because they're quality, motivated women. So I love that. With my love and my partnership, my marriage, I'm super proud of myself in the last year, because I've explored more of my depths of my feminine surrendered self with my partner, and we're practicing playing in polarity. And one more, friends and connections. All I wrote is, I am a super great friend. All right, go. Give yourself some gratitude. Hey Eve, we're just working on our second page of our printable.
Okay.
Putting down some areas that we feel like we're doing well, or giving ourselves some praise or gratitude in each of the 8 areas.
Okay.
And we've gone through the wheel. So if you want to just mark 1 to 5 on your wheel, 1, not feeling super great about this, 5, feeling awesome. And then that will indicate where you might like to set some intentions, which we haven't done yet. So still plenty of time.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I've just noticed Marianne. I don't know how long ago you dropped in. I've just seen that you were there. Are you caught up with where we're at the moment? I can't see you or hear you, so I'm going to assume you're all good and writing down your gratitude pieces. How's everyone going? Once you're done, do you want to just give me a wave or a thumbs up? Just another few seconds. Was so who wants to share some of their examples so we can celebrate you? Just jump off mute if you're happy to share. Oh, you went on and off, Yvonne. Alicia, you're up.
Mine, I guess we're having more balance at home, which is really good. And starting to take, which allows me to take more time to do walking, which is good for my health. And heaps of family time outside and kayaking. So definitely getting a better balance this year, which was mostly our goals. So happy that we're kind of achieving them.
Yay! I've seen lots of your outdoor adventures. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. That's all our Christmas presents were, just outdoor camping things this year.
Perfect. Does anyone else want to share?
I can share a couple.
Yeah, go Amanda.
A couple. I was going to share self-care, so taking time to just be, so be a human being, not a human doing.
Yeah.
Without any guilt. I think that's the part that I'm learning.
Yeah.
And family time, making time to get outside and enjoy nature, like we just heard, and doing activities that they want to do, and just like actually immersing and enjoying them.
Yes. I've seen that on your socials. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you for sharing. We got one more brave human. Let us celebrate you, even if it feels hard to be celebrated.
I don't mind sharing.
Thanks, Jill.
I've got two that I've grateful for especially. One is personal spiritual growth. So I'm grateful that I allow myself the time and space to look within and trust my intuition.
Yes.
And the second is my family. So I'm grateful for my family. They ground me, they trust me, they energize me, and they are open to me, and they respect me.
Yes, that must be such a beautiful feeling for you, Jill.
It is.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shailene, I saw you jump off. Have a go. Tell us about where you're doing
Sure
well.
thing. Yep, I decided I would share based on what Amanda said with self-care, because I also had down the guilt thing as well. So I have that I'm worthy of quality care and time for me, and I do this without the guilt. And then that way I embrace the benefits. And I think for me, letting go of the guilt is a massive thing to continue to work on. In regards to health, I have established a support system to obtain better health and fitness, and spiritual growth. So spirit is with me, and I'm open to exploring more areas for my growth, my benefit, as well as my family and clients. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And the guilt part is such a common thing amongst us mamas. We all need to let go of martyrdom, that we are worthy of giving to ourselves, but also knowing that when we give to ourselves, we give to our family, because we can't give with an empty bucket. We don't want to be kind and giving to other people when we're depleted, when our bucket is completely empty. So that's a beautiful reminder that we all deserve to give to ourselves. So next, we're going to do the intention setting part. So any areas that you wish to evolve or you wish to alter that you feel were most lacking when you did the wheel exercise. And just before you start, remembering that we're doing intentions, and they're a little bit different to goals. So goal setting can trigger that winner-loser mindset, and it can kind of take over our life if it gets too rigid. Intention setting is more like a journey rather than a destination. So it focuses on how you want to be or how you want to feel. It lets go of the performance anxiety and the overachievement stress, because we don't have to work out how we're going to get there. We just want to know how we want to be or how we want to feel. It's often relationship based as well. So either with yourself or with others. So one of my intentions is to move more in my life, because I feel like I sit down at the computer quite a lot. So instead of saying I want to go to the gym 4 times a week, it's I want to add more movement. I want to be more free in my body and move my body as it wishes to move to improve my health. It might be for you, you want to feel fit enough to go for a bike ride with your kids, or you might want to feel like you can take a deep breath, or whatever it is that you need to feel in your body to know that you're more healthy, if health is something for you, as opposed to setting the goal of I'm going to lose 15 kilos. Because we could end up like, yay, I lost my 15 kilos, go me, my house is a complete mess, my washing isn't done, where are my kids? Or you might feel like a failure because you've only lost 10 kilos, but you've actually made a massive improvement in the way that you feel. And you can now, go and play soccer with your kids, but you're feeling like a failure because you didn't hit that 15 number. So letting go of the smart and setting those intentions. So how you'd like to feel or be in maybe 1 to 3 areas that you found in your wheel weren't up there at the number 5. And at the end, I'm going to ask you to share again. Because if I haven't mentioned it, sharing and celebrating is awesome. So I'm just going to pop some music on and you can get started. Does anyone need more time to set their intentions? Yes, Amanda. Leave in another few seconds.
Hey, Catherine,
Yeah.
this is really, it feels really awkward and confronting. Is it like this for you when you do this? Because, I mean, and I suppose it is because we're looking at those areas that we want to develop in, that even to set an intention, I suppose it's just that analysis of I want something different in this area of my life than what I have. And I suppose, and I'm very aware that I feel a lot of things. So to even doing it, I can almost even then at times feel like, oh my God, I'm about to cry or something. It's like, whoa, what's that coming from? Like, do you experience that as well? Like, is this all just part of the process?
Totally part of the process. And you are amazing, because that is something that we will talk about a little bit further on. But when we don't feel 100% in our being that we deserve these things, then we make sure that we don't get them. We put things in place for ourselves to sabotage ourselves getting them, or walking away from them rather than to them, because we don't feel like we 100% deserve them. And that requires us to excavate our insides, to get rid of those limiting beliefs and those stories, and know that we are worthy of receiving them. And part of the next section is talking about some rituals and some things that we can do to ground into that knowing that we deserve it, and to let our mind think that we deserve it and our body feel that we deserve it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that, because it is hard. It's super hard to walk towards something that feels funny, because we don't feel like we deserve it. And we don't normally consciously think that. We don't go, I don't deserve this. But if we did feel like we deserved it, we would clasp it. The things that we think we deserve, we go and get them. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm going to share a couple first, just to make sure that everyone's got a little bit of time to finish off if they need to. So which ones do I want to share? For finance, for me, I'm working towards letting go of controlling the finance and surrendering to my husband taking the lead in that, and allowing him to expand his opportunities to manage our finances and also receive wealth, because we both feel like because I have control over our finances, because he hasn't previously been interested in doing it, despite the fact that he does finance for his work. And that holds him back from having a go at it and taking that masculine space in our family. And it also holds me back from taking the feminine surrender in our family. So we're doing a little bit of a swap, and I'm going to let go, is my intention, to learn to let go of having all of that control over our finances and just receive. Another one for family for me, I want to be in a more open state with my children, so I can fully and truly hear their desires and act from a place of love. So sometimes I feel like I listen to their words and not what they're actually saying to me. So if I can drop into being in a place of love, then maybe I will hear what they're actually trying to share with me in some moments where I'm missing parts. And then I also mentioned my health. So integration of more movement into my life, because I have a really great handle on all of the food that I need to eat, the supplements that I need to take, and I want to continue to nourish my body with some movement and some rest. So I'm not going to set particular number of hours or times that I want to sleep, but I want to know that I want to add more rest. And how that looks, I have no idea. I'm just going to be open to how that looks. And same with movement, being open to how I can add movement into my life organically, rather than going, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Because I was doing that at the end of last year and it didn't feel super great. So who else wants to share where they've set some intentions?
I'll go. For connection and friends, I set lovely and healthy boundaries for myself and my family to support our wellness and growth.
Yes.
I feel I let people move in too much sometimes. And for self-care, I wish to create some beautiful, loving self-care rituals for myself on a regular basis, rather than just doing it whenever I find the time.
Perfect. I love that. Thanks, Vanessa. Who else wants to share?
I'll share.
Thanks, Kirsten.
A couple of mine sort of relate to what you both just said. Finance, I want to lose the guilt around not contributing financially.
Yes.
Now that I've taken a step back from my own business, I'm not making any money. I want to not worry about that. Like, that's a big worry that I have. Probably always have. I just wanted to say about the self-care. Mine's up at 5, so mine's not an issue, but I'm not sure who just spoke. But one thing I find really helpful is making a date or a night where it's your night, and that's when you spend that time for your self-care. That's what I did to make sure I actually did it. Because a couple of years ago, I didn't have any self-care. I barely got to wash my hair and things like that. So that's what helped me. I think it was at Vanessa.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah.
And that's probably all for now.
Perfect. So I just want to comment on the finance. I love that you've set that goal, because you are bringing in so much importance into your family that isn't quantifiable with dollars, but teaching your children and choosing to homeschool and being their mama in a really attentive way, that's more than dollars, yeah?
Yeah.
So let go of that. Such a beautiful intention. You're going to smash it.
Thank you.
Just going to read here. Am I okay to read this aloud? Shailene, is that okay for you? Shailene's feeling very vulnerable right now, which has surprised her. She feels guilty that her kids are left on their own devices while she's taking time here. She feels blessed that she has time this morning to do this, despite nearly talking herself out of it numerous times due to being busy. I have felt that feeling so many times, Shailene. Thank you for sharing that. Like we said earlier, that's what we do as mamas. We go, I'm not important. And when I'm not important, how do we give? How do we teach our kids to give to themselves? If they don't see you giving to you, they don't learn how to give to them. And I'm sure that you gave to them this morning. Did you take yourself swimming, or did you take your children swimming? Yeah. So you have even filled their buckets before you fill yours. So it's your turn to refill. But it's beautiful awareness. First step, beautiful awareness to know that feeling, feel that feeling, and be okay with it. Know that you deserve it, and remind yourself in your mind and your body and your soul that you deserve it just for being you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shailene. Does anyone else want to share? Hand up. Yvonne, yes, go. Share us your intentions.
My intentions are for family, having more patience and putting time aside to play with my son. I very often say, I just need to do this and I just need to do that. And then by the time I sit down to play, I don't actually want to play because I don't overly enjoy the playing side. I like taking him to the park, I like taking him to the pool, taking him to do activities, but sitting down and playing with a toy gives me no interest, and that's not fair because he wants to connect. So I would like to find a way to want to play with him.
Yeah, I'm seeing so many nods. This is a mama thing. Thank you for sharing that. So I just want to comment on that a little bit because it's super common and it's super important to give yourself grace for feeling those feelings and for acknowledging that that's something that you do and that you want to change. And I think it was earlier this week, I had in the Lioness Mama group some things that we say to ourselves that can be unhelpful. And I think it might have been Ari actually that said she often says to her kids, I'm not in the mood for that. And that's setting herself up to go, I don't feel like this. And you mentioned, I'm just not ready yet, or I've just got to finish this before you go to your son. And that sets you up for, I don't want to do it. So maybe you can start to change your wording, even if it's only in your head, when he asks for you to play. I want to give to you. I can give to you. You deserve to be played with. I'm going to give to you now. It's not about you enjoying that time. You don't have to enjoy the game that's being played, but you're giving to him and you want to give to him. You said that you want to give to him. So changing that mindset around what you're doing, rather than you not enjoying it, it's you enjoying giving to him because you love him. He's your son. So if you can try and change those voices in your head that come straight away as soon as he says, come play trucks with me, you're like, I don't like trucks. Doesn't matter. Let go of that. I love my son. I want to play with him. I want to fill up his bucket. I'm going to come and play with you in just 1 minute. So you're getting your mindset ready to play with him, not getting your mindset to step back because you don't like it. Maybe that's something you can try working on. And then remembering to give yourself compassion if you don't move towards that intention all of the time. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anyone else that wants to share? We're good. So the next piece is nurturing these intentions so they can come alive in us. I see myself at times, sometimes in my clients and in the collective world of mamas, that we're often searching for the right thing to do. But that search creates procrastination, indecision, self-doubt, chaos, shame, guilt, all of these unhelpful things, and rarely does it unearth the answer. And it certainly doesn't foster the life that we desire. So if you know me personally, you follow me on socials, or if you've worked with me before, likely you will have heard me say, I don't have a formula. I don't have the way, and I can't teach you it. But I can share my journey and share some of my experiences to help light your way, because your way is the only way. And that way is going inside yourself and listening to yourself. And if you can't hear your intuition, or it's too hard to hear, and unless we sustain this gift, we lose it. So you're not alone if you struggle to listen to your intuition. You do need to excavate out some of those stories like we were talking about before. Find those limiting beliefs that were handed down to you that no longer serve you, so that you can learn to trust the true you and create and receive that life that you desire. So whether it's to create ease or happiness or freedom or acceptance or patience, connections, whatever it is that you desire, you deserve it, and you need to trust yourself to receive it. So the next steps are some action steps. The way that works for me to create momentum for my intentions and desires is to merge my body wisdom and some consistent actions and rituals that become habits once we do them for a little while. So I'm going to tell you about 3. And again, this is what I love. It's what works for me. It might not work for you. There's lots of different ways that we can embody what we want. These are some of the things that you can try if you haven't tried them before. So to remind yourself of your intentions, make sure you see them on a daily basis. So put your printout on the fridge or maybe on the toilet wall, probably not the back of the toilet door, because what mama ever gets to shut the toilet door? If you're keen, get a whiteboard marker, write your intentions on your mirror. And if you want the full-blown experience, try scripting. So write down your intentions as though they are yours, with some really juicy, emotive, descriptive words included. paint yourself a beautiful picture, and then voice record yourself reading it. So it might be something like, I'm a happy mama. I'm exquisitely balancing my part-time job that I love and parenting my children. My husband is so loving and present, and he too shares the parenting role equally. We carve out time to connect deeply, as well as have our separate times. He feels free and I feel loved, and so on and so on. Oh, that gives me goosebumps. Then listen to it. Listen to it every day. Twice a day is even better. So before you wake up in the morning, or before you actually get out of bed and start your day, before you go to bed, listen to it and feel that intention, feel that new life. I did this a year ago when I decided that I needed something different in my marriage, and it works. Thank you, Meg and Jacob, because they got me onto this. It feels weird at first, but if this shit was easy, everyone would do it and they would be living their wildest dreams, right? Thanks, Alicia. That is your quote. So number 2 is embodying your intentions. When you feel them in your body, all of you knows that you're going after them. So what I mean by this is, if you had what you desire, how would you feel? If you had what you wrote down as your intentions, how would you know that you'd attracted and created and received them? If we can give our body the experience of this beautiful life that you're wanting to create, it knows where to head. All of you knows how to flow down that river. So for me, ecstatic dance or free movement is brilliant for this. Put on some music and imagine all of your wildest intentions have become your reality. And when you do this, there will most certainly be resistance, like we talked about before, because there are parts of you that feel like you don't deserve this, or you would have created it already. But if you can think about your intentions and get them into your body after you've written them down and they're in your mind, drop them into your body, invite your body along for that ride, shit will get real. We don't have time to play this today, but I really invite you to feel into that at home. Have your intentions in your mind and then move your body. Let your body move to the beat of that blissful feeling of having what you desire. And if you are local to me, good news, because this type of practice is coming in real life very soon. I'm creating this space at the moment. Last one, number 3. This is a bit of a weird one and possibly out of your comfort zone, for some of you at least, but it is powerful. When you have some time to yourself, grab a pen and paper and write down all of the reasons your current life in the areas that you're wanting to focus on aren't the way you want them to be. All of the excuses, the stories, the limiting beliefs that you got from your parents, the blame you place on your partner, the blame you place on the kids, the things that society has told you which limits you, the things like, I don't have enough money, I'm not smart enough, I'm not educated enough, I don't want to be too selfish, I'm too shy, I'm too needy, I'm too weird, I need to put the kids first, I don't have time for me, I don't get paid enough. This might mean less time with my family, I've already tried. What would people think? It's not the done thing. Whatever it is that comes up for you, all of those things, let them come up, purge them out onto the paper, and then burn it. Ceremoniously burning under the moon if you desire. I've done that with some friends before. It's a bit of a witchy thing to do, but it's fun. Or simply grab a saucepan, a match, a jug of water, burn that piece of paper and cool off the ashes. You can't put ashes back together. Once it's burned, it's gone. Let go of all those limiting beliefs that you're putting on yourself. The effort you take to do this reinforces to you and your body that you are serious, that your intentions are going to be received. You are ready. And one bonus action is enrolling your family in this intention setting, simply by sharing your intentions. Just let them know that you're committed to surrendering and receiving some beautiful new gifts for yourself and your family. And the secret ingredient, like I mentioned earlier, the one that I forgot at the start of the year, is compassion. When it feels like it's off track. It might be off track, but it might not be. So when we behave in a way that doesn't align with our intentions, we give ourselves compassion, because we're all human. And I think everyone on here is also leading other little humans in their life journey. So we're bound to step out of alignment. with our own values and intentions at some point. And that's when we give ourselves grace and compassion. Woo! Feels like I've shared a hell of a lot of information, but it feels complete. How is everyone else feeling? Good? Is there anything that anybody wants to share before I do just a little bit of information about the free giveaway that I have and also an offer? Do you want to share how this was for you or how you're feeling?
I say I will, and then I'm on mute.
Go, Amanda, go.
I feel like that this is exactly what I needed at exactly the right time, because I've been trying to get myself into this space of setting intentions, and I think this just makes it much more simple, that I don't make it overcomplicated in my own head. So very grateful.
Perfect. All you have to do is set that intention and then let it come. Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Hannah, you're up.
I think it's really funny how it just takes you by surprise. Like, it's really quite a simple concept, but when you're actually doing it, it's really freaking hard.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many blocks, and yeah, it really stumps you. So definitely gives you a lot of time for reflection.
Perfect. Thank you, Hannah. Kirsten, you look like you're off mute too.
Yeah, I just want to say I really love the wheel. It sort of opened me up to where I really need to focus, rather than thinking, oh, like things are shit, what do I do? I can see where to focus first. And it also gave me a bit of a boost to see that there are good things, like quite a few good things happening.
Excellent. Yes. I think Hannah mentioned that earlier too. So that's awesome that some of you have gone, wow, I'm actually doing really awesome some of the areas of my life, which is awesome. Yay. Thank you, Kirsten. Did anyone else want to share? Good. Okay, so if you want to share your intentions and your practices and be celebrated by other women, jump into our Facebook group if you haven't already. Lioness Mama Collective. Are you there, Alicia? Can you chuck the link into the comments?
Yep.
For anyone who needs to join that still. And if you do share, you'll go in the draw to win a 1-hour mentoring session with me. We tend to waste a fair amount of time feeling inadequate in different areas of our lives, as some of us have discovered today. And that's where our limiting beliefs are. And that tends to be where we want to set our intentions, because we know we want something, but there's a block. There's something holding us back. So this session will be an invitation to catapult you into claiming your intentions by submerging you deep into yourself, going into the depths of yourself to find, what am I blocking myself with? What are my stories? What are my limiting negative beliefs about why I'm not worthy to receive this? So it'll clear the fog, if I could speak. It will clear the fog and unearth what you need to get rid of so that you feel safe to trust yourself and receive all that you desire. So make sure you jump into Lioness Mama Collective on Facebook and state your intentions in there. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram for information about local in-person women's circles coming soon. So Brisbane, North Brisbane area, if that's you might like to follow, because that's on its way, which is super exciting. And if you need support to action your rituals or excavate some of your limiting beliefs that are holding you back, I offer one-to-one sessions, so singly or in a package of 3. I had a 3-lot of 1-hour session package on special for $297 in December, and I'm happy to continue offering that for anyone who wants to book that 3 mentoring session. I think Alicia is amazingly going to put that into the chat box as well. So if you'd like that, you can get in contact or jump onto that link. I think we're done. Woo! Only a tiny bit over too. 8 minutes over. Wow. Thank you so much for being here today. If there's anything else that you want to share afterwards, if you want to provide a testimonial or some other things that have come up for you, feel free to send me a voice or a video or a text into my DMs, or even my phone number. I think most of you should have that now because I sent a reminder this morning. happy to hear from you if you would like to share some more. Thank you so much, Jill. Whew. Thank you, beautiful humans. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and that you're feeling alive. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine.